Welcome to Elevating the Vibes, a podcast dedicated to shining a light on the incredible people making a real difference in their communities. My name is Tom Marshall, and I'll be your guide on this journey of positivity. Let's face it, negativity can be overwhelming these days. Negativity seems to be on everyone's doorstep. And wearing all these hats personally as a husband, father of four, family man, business professional, board member, coach, and all-around community guy, I see it constantly. But here's the bright side. Life throws those curveballs, but the amazing people who pick you up after make all the difference. This podcast isn't just about feeling good. It's about celebrating the perseverance and grit of everyday heroes. We will be diving deep into the stories of these change makers, uncovering their passions, their approaches, and the positive ripples they create. Settle in and get inspired by some remarkable folks proving good vibes conquer all, even in tough times. Let's elevate together and let the vibe shine through. I am excited to launch Elevating the Vibes podcast, a show spotlighting inspiring individuals making a positive impact. Joining us today is Ashley Aroom, a behavioral therapist and owner of Aspire Mental Health right here in Easton, Maryland. Ashley brings over 6 years of experience in both private practice and nonprofit settings. Ashley, welcome.
Tom, thank you so much for having me.
Ashley, before we jump into your aspiring work, where are you from and how do you spend your time outside of offering therapeutical services?
So I grew up in Annapolis, Maryland, and I've been on the Eastern Shore for about a decade. I am married, 2 kids, love being outdoors, spending time with them and grilling and being by the pool. The beach is by far my happy place, and I'm ready for summer.
I'm ready for summer too. Memorial Day weekend's next weekend, and living here on the shore, Ocean City's a little over an hour away. So maybe we'll see you down there.
Can't wait to go.
Let's talk about your profession, right? And for those curious, could you walk us through the journey of actually becoming a therapist?
Sure. I graduated high school. I went on to get my bachelor's in psychology. During this time, I worked at social services helping families and got some experience there. Right after receiving my bachelor's, I went on to start my master's. That took 2 years for me to complete. And then during that time, I needed to attend 2 residency trainings. They were each a week long, complete an internship, which is 2,000 hours of supervised clinical experience. And then after I graduated, I needed to take the board licensure exam. After passing, I got a job at a nonprofit. I needed to obtain another 3,000 hours of supervision before even being able to practice independently. It was not an easy journey, but it was worth it, and it's been very rewarding.
So Ashley, I'm going to get out the calculator here. So it sounds like it's about 5,000 hours, undergraduate, master's, pass the boards. It's a lot of education and clinicals that go into being a therapist. And I know that there's a ton of specialties out there within therapy. What areas do you focus on here at Aspire?
So I see children, adolescents, and adults. I'm trained in trauma therapy and received my certification, as well as sensory motor psychotherapy level 1. But I see a wide range of presenting problems. I would say my specialty is in trauma, anxiety, and depression. I use a variety of modalities depending on the work I'm doing with my clients, blending evidence-based therapies with a holistic client-centered approach. And I use a collaborative approach with my clients because I believe that the therapeutic relationship is so important. Really just committed to providing a safe, compassionate space for my clients.
With the different kind of services that you offer, Ashley, and with all the education and clinicals, when you really look back on it, right, what sparked your passion to become a therapist in the first place? And what is your why on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to be a therapist pretty early on. I've been through things personally, life is hard, and I knew I always wanted to help other people because things do get better. And that's my why.
When you mentioned life is hard, life is absolutely hard. And to even compound that even more was the pandemic. And, from a therapist perspective, the pandemic has undeniably impacted everyone's well-being. What have you observed about the pandemic and the effects that it's had on people?
Sure. I mean, yeah, the pandemic absolutely had a big impact on everybody's well-being. I think some of the biggest ones were economic hardship, right? Social isolation, we had health anxiety, fear of infection, depression, anxiety, substance use issues increased, grief, domestic and violence. It impacted mental health for children and adolescents having to attend school from home via Zoom. The demand for mental health increased, and you do try your hardest to accommodate everyone, but it's just a time where the demand is greater than the amount of providers available. And there was the rise of teletherapy, which has been very helpful for so many people seeking care.
Actually, when you think about the pandemic, and you mentioned a couple different topics here of anxiety, depression, social isolation, when you think about you, right, and your journey, you were navigating the pandemic. At that point, you and your husband welcomed a new baby. And at that time, is really when the wheels started to spin on, hey, let me think about starting my own practice. Can you talk about your mindset and what propelled you to really get the wheels spinning during that time of the pandemic as a new mom and so on, and ultimately push forward to get you here?
So, opening my own practice was always the dream. I knew I wanted to do it, during grad school, and it's not something you can do right out of graduate school.
Sure.
After working for a nonprofit and kind of starting to think about what I wanted my future to look like, I just knew it was time, but it was definitely scary. I took a big risk and my husband supported me through all of it. And on top of that, like you said, I just had my second son. He was only a few months old. I'm trying to balance still working full time, balance my family, figure out how I'm supposed to open a private practice because it's not something they teach you in school on how to do that. And I really wanted to show my two boys that if you work hard and you put your mind to something, no matter how scary and challenging it is, you can do it. And in the midst of that, I'm trying to find an office space, the financial impact, trying to get Aspire Mental Health's name out in the community, navigating, getting credentialed with insurance. That was a whole experience in itself. And I really needed to make it a priority to take breaks to recharge and maintain work-life balance so I could maintain my well-being and provide the best care for my clients because I was still working full-time and seeing clients.
Ashley, when you think about opening your own practice, I'm sure there's, potential listeners out there or folks who have their own business. Not every day sunshine and rainbows. And I'm sure leading up to it, there had to be some times where you asked yourself, am I making the right decision? And, this might feel a little bit uncomfortable going out of my comfort zone. Can you discuss kind of your mindset and where you were at during that time?
Yeah, I mean, there were moments for sure where I questioned myself, what I was doing, if I could even make this work. But really, despite the challenges that I faced, the whole experience, it did teach me resilience, adaptability, accountability, really the importance of trusting myself and leaning on my support system, because the only way to get to success is to get uncomfortable.
I love that comment about the only way to get to success is to get uncomfortable. And I tell you where I am comfortable right now is sitting here in your practice.
Thank you.
It's very nice and quaint and beautiful. And as you think about Aspire Mental Health, when did you first open up your doors here and where can people find you?
So I officially opened December 5th of 23, and I'm located in Easton, Maryland, 111 Northwest Street.
And from a listener's perspective, coming here for the very first time, could you share what a mental health visit looks like here at Aspire and with you?
So the first session, clients can expect really just a welcoming and supportive environment. My primary goal is just to establish the foundation of a strong therapeutic relationship. We focus on an intake that first session, which I send all the paperwork to the client prior to that first session. So they're able to complete the questions, they know what to expect, then we go over them together. That way I'm able to just really understand what's going on and get to know them. The first session, it is normal to feel nervous, unsure of how therapy is going to go, what it's going to look like, but I really do try to make you feel comfortable and give you a safe space.
This next question, Ashley, is more of a basic blocking and tackling from a healthcare mechanics standpoint. Patients are listening and say, hey, I do need some help. I do want to come. I want to spend some time with you. I don't know if my insurance will cover it. I don't know if self-pay is an option or if you have an alternative kind of billing option. Could you expand on how insurance works and what you're currently offering?
Absolutely. Right now I currently accept Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance plans. I'm in the process of getting credentialed with Aetna, And then for anyone who doesn't have a Blue Cross, they can do self-pay. And then I can give them a super bill or invoice, which they can submit to their insurance for reimbursement. I also offer a sliding scale fee, which is just a reduced fee per session for qualifying individuals.
So you got options.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a one size fits all.
I try to make it easy.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. What's your focus here at Aspire, and how can listeners connect with you if they're interested in your services?
My main focus is to help people really become the best versions of themselves. You know, we all aspire to be the best we can and have positive change, but sometimes the stressors of alone make that really feel impossible. So the way that listeners can find me is through my website, which is aspirementalhealtheaston.com. And then you can find me on my Psychology Today profile, which is under my name, Ashley Aroom.
Ashley, you highlighted people becoming the best versions of themselves. And I absolutely love that concept. But when you really think about it, one of the biggest obstacles sometimes for folks is their own mental health and how they view themselves. Not having a healthy mental health approach can be crippling. And there's also, this somewhat of a stigma that's still out there about therapeutical services like, oh, you're not mentally strong, you can't handle, fill in the blank situation. And by not addressing one's mental health, how does that ultimately prevent someone from truly becoming one's best self?
That's a great question. I mean, when we neglect our mental health, it can have a profound and far-reaching effect on every aspect of our life. When you think self-development, the impacts on our family, career consequences, right? Social relationships, our physical health. Mental health issues manifest physically, and then they affect our bodies more than what I think many people realize. Therapy is confidential. So it's just about taking that initial step, and those steps can be gradual. But seeking help for mental health is a sign of strength and self-awareness.
When patients come and visit you, ultimately trying to become their best self and going through the different sessions, what does success look like from your perspective as you're helping patients get back on track?
Success for me is, seeing my clients achieve meaningful progress in their lives, them being able to manage their symptoms better. They experience fewer or less intense episodes of distress and develop healthier coping mechanisms. They're improving their self-awareness and resilience, seeing them have positive changes in their overall quality of life, and just being more confident in managing their own mental health. What I always tell my clients is that they're the ones driving the train. I'm just the co-conductor. So I'm helping guide them on their journey, seeing where my clients have started and then their journey of how far they've come. That's why I do what I do.
Well, you must be a pretty good co-conductor, because I want to congratulate you on being named the best of the best for 2023 mental health therapist for the Chesapeake. What does winning this award mean to you?
Thank you so much, Tom. Winning that award was humbling and such an honor. I love the work that I do. So being able to help people and be recognized for that and just on their journey with them means a lot to me.
Ashley, as we wrap things up here, I'm a big music guy, and we always like to keep the vibes going. And on a lighter note, just out of curiosity, who's your favorite musician or band that's out there right now?
Okay, so that's honestly hard to say because I don't have a favorite, because I have a lot of favorites. But if I had to pick just one, then Rihanna.
Rihanna. Ooh,
right.
Nana. There we go. Shine bright like a diamond.
That's right, Tom.
There we go. Ashley, thank you so much for being here today, sharing your insights and inspiring us all. I wish you continued success here at Aspire Mental Health.
Thank you so much, Tom, for having me. And for any listeners who would like a free consultation from listening to this interview, please contact me and mention Elevating the Vibes to receive a free consultation with me. And remember, I will be your co-conductor on the train that you are leading.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you again, Ashley, and stay tuned for the next episode of Elevating the Vibes. And thank you for tuning in. Peace, love, and groove, my friends. Take care.